Hey guys, Ashley here. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Today, I want to invite you to join me for a very gentle and grounding Vinyasa flow. So, no props are necessary, but as always, blocks and a blanket for cushioning are always helpful. So, if you have them, grab them, and we'll meet on our mat when you're ready. So, today, we'll begin lying down on our belly. So getting down into a comfortable position and resting your forehead down on both hands. Rest your head down, the back of the hands. Just let the arms hang heavy, relax through the shoulders. You can relax through both legs here, so the heels might drop out to the sides a bit. And just right away, tapping into our breath, noticing that natural breath occurring, noticing the pace, the length. And noticing if either the inhales or the exhales are a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. And eventually, over time, trying to balance out the breath evenly so the length of the inhales match the length to the exhales. So emptying out on your next breath. Together, we'll take a big breath in through the nose, filling all the way up to the top. Open the mouth and let something go. And a couple times like that, at your own pace, filling all the way up to the top. And clearing it away. Feeling every exhale as your front body sinks deeper and heavier into the mat. And every inhale, your back body expands and contracts on every breath. So just starting to observe the whole back body puffing up on breath, both of the side bodies. If you'd like to invite any intention for your practice, you can take a moment to notice anything that might come up for you right away. And if nothing jumps out at you, that's totally okay. Just allowing a softness to come into play here during our next 60 minutes. Being gentle with our bodies. And as we move from pose to pose, breath to breath, our mind might begin to wander, as it always does. So allow this to be a safe space where we leave the judgments and expectations aside. Just for the next 60 minutes, allowing yourself to be exactly as you are in this moment. So we'll take a couple of more breaths right here, but we'll start to bend the right knee and slide it over to the right hand side off the mat. So the right shin is about parallel to the edge of the mat. You can keep your forehead down or bring one cheek down. That feels good. Finding a nice passive hip opening here. You can always cushion that right knee with a blanket or pillow. Okay, so we're going to start to extend the left arm out to the side. Bring your left cheek down and sliding your right hand underneath the right shoulder. So we're going to peel ourselves off of our mat and onto our left side of our body. And that right foot is going to come down somewhere behind that left leg on the ground. So the right knee will face up to the sky. Start to feel a nice little stretch to the top of the left shoulder. And keep that right hand on the ground or extend it up to the sky and wrap it around the low back. Just letting the hand rest down for a little bit more opening for your right shoulder. And allow this opening to be a slow process to come naturally over time with the use of your breath. So using your breath is just a way to help soften and to help open the body. Okay, we're going to return back to our belly and bring that right knee right where it was off to the side of the mat. And we're going to come up onto our forearms. So letting both hips sink evenly, just kind of propping ourselves up on our arms, finding a few breaths here. And a half frog, half sphinx shape. And then pressing into both hands, lifting the elbows up. And starting to slide your left arm underneath your right, leaning onto the back of your left shoulder, the back of your head comes down, and the back of your right shoulder comes down to the mat. So kind of open this up, allowing the shoulders to soften. You can extend the arms wide to a T. You can cactus the arms, bending the elbows. Now you can bring your left hand to help kind of ground down your right knee. So find a place where you can soften, you feel a nice twist, where you can breathe fully and consistently. We tend to hold our breath in any twist, so fairly more simple shape twist, allow the breath to be full, to be strong. Shoulders are heavy. Maybe send your gaze over to the right. And then we're going to start to return to our belly. Coming back onto the forearms and sliding both legs together and taking this to the other side. So right away, just bending the left knee, sliding it up towards the left shoulder, off to the side. And then we'll rest down onto our belly, our chest, and bring the forehead to the backs of the hands just for a few breaths. So really allow yourself to sink here, get comfortable. You can always bring one cheek down. That feels better than the forehead. And then we'll make our way into our shoulder stretch. So starting to extend your right arm out to the side, palm face down. Right cheek comes down, left hand underneath left shoulder. Peel yourself off the mat. Left foot comes planted on the ground somewhere behind your right leg. So the knee is lifted up to the sky. You can keep the left hand where it is or reach it up and around and let it rest on the ground somewhere behind your back. So here my head is rested. And in this pose, eventually, over time, we're working towards getting the front of the hips and the knees to face up towards the sky. So that might come over time, might not happen right away. It's called a practice for a reason. So without trying to force anything, force any movement, again, just allowing that breath to ride you deeper into this pose. Constant breath. Okay, we'll begin to roll back towards our belly. Left knee comes back out to the side. We come up onto the forearms right in front of us, so the fingertips face forward. Forearms are parallel. And not too much engagement here, just kind of a resting sphinx, where we're just propping ourselves up onto the arms, softening into the hip space. So from here, we'll start to press into both hands, lifting both elbows up, and sliding the right arm underneath the left, reaching it all the way through as you roll into the back of the right shoulder, the back of the head, and the back of the left shoulder. Maybe you're reaching the arms to a T, maybe cactusing the arms. Maybe you send your gaze over to the left-hand side. Maybe round that left knee down a bit. So the most important thing here is not to get that knee to the ground, but focusing on the breath, of course, and softening the shoulders so that they're evenly weighted into the mat. Put on a little more breaths right here. Taking a moment to check in with your body. Noticing if anything is coming up early in your practice, anything you want to bring your attention or focus to for the rest of the hour. Okay, we're going to start to roll back towards our belly. Dropping yourself back to the forearms and sliding both legs back. I'm coming into a full sphinx here. So here we'll draw the heels slightly in, press the toenails down into the mat, engage through your thighs, and the kneecaps might lift here a little bit. And now we're kind of active in the arms, so feel a pulling motion, like you're dragging yourself across the floor. So your shoulders draw back, your heart pulls forward through the gateway of the arms. Still focusing on that nice, smooth, consistent breath right here. Again, just like we did before, you can take this further by lifting the elbows, pressing into both hands. And then slowly returning back to the ground. Forehead comes down, hands come beside the lower ribs, just far back enough so they land underneath the elbows. Elbows tucked into the sides. Keep pressing the toenails down, the tops of the feet, heels draw slightly in, engage through the thighs, and then inhale, lift your head, peel your heart off the floor for your cobra. So here we're really using our back muscles to lift the heart up. Keeping the hands fairly light. And as you exhale, lower back down. We'll do that a few more times with a couple different variations. So again, inhale, lifting up, using your back muscles, using your breath. And as you exhale, lower back down. Again, inhale, lift your head, lift your heart. Maybe this time lifting our legs all the way up, reaching through the toenails back. Lifting both ends a little higher. For 3, 2, And one, gently lowering back down. We'll take the hands out wide to the sides of the mat. Tend the fingertips so the elbows will point up to the sky. One more time, inhale, peel the head, peel the heart. Lifting a little bit higher this time with the support of your fingernails. And then exhale, lower back down. Again, inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And this time we're going to dip the right shoulder down towards the mat. So it doesn't matter how far you go. Maybe you come down to the mat, maybe your head comes all the way down. And then inhale brings us right back up to center. Exhale, left shoulder dips down. Maybe the head. Inhale back to center. And exhale, lower yourself completely. Hands come beside the low ribs. And we're going to press back to a child's pose. Drawing your hips towards your heels. Releasing the forehead down. Maybe you wiggle the hips side to side here. Maybe you massage your third eye left to right into your mat. And keeping this child's pose active. So keep the fingertips crawling towards the top of the mat. Nice stretch all the way from the fingertips down to the hips. So through the side bodies, bringing a little bit more space. Maybe the elbows lift. Feeling a nice little stretch through the tops of the shoulders. All the way down to the hips. Let's take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. One more time, inhale deeply. Exhale, let it go. We'll start to inhale and lift onto your hands and knees, rounding through the spine. So tuck your chin towards your chest and then lower the pelvis towards the mat, bending the elbows a little bit, coming into cobra, letting the head be the last thing to come up, pulling the heart through the gateway of the arms, and then exhale back to your child's pose. We'll do that a few more times. So as you inhale, you round forward. Lower the hips, micro bend into the elbows. Shine your heart soft in the shoulders. And exhale back to your child's pose. One more time, inhale, round forward. This time upward facing dog. So keep the arms straight. We're coming onto the tops of the feet. Shoulders are above the wrists. And heels draw slightly in. Press down through the palms actively. And as you exhale, we'll lift up and back to your downward facing dog. Okay, so our first down dog. Feel free to bring any kind of movement that feels good in your body today, right now. So that might mean paddling out the legs, bending into one knee at a time. Creating a little bit of space where you can. Dropping the hips side to side. Maybe nodding the head. Oh, yes and no. Releasing some tension in the back of the neck. And then we'll look forward, round the spine, so tilt the pelvis towards the front of the mat. And then lift onto the balls of the feet. And we're going to step forward to the top of the mat, little steps. So feel like you're walking on high heels, so just stepping on the balls of the feet. Little steps. Take your time getting to the top of your mat. Keep around in the spine, engaging your core. Might tent the fingertips as we get a little bit closer. And then once you get there, bring the feet together. Leave a little space for the heels. Keep the heels lifted and bend the knees. Sink the hips towards the feet. When you find your balance, reach the arms up overhead. So elongating the spine, reaching up through the crown of the head and rooting down through your tailbone. Shoulders are soft here, but arms are active. Fingers are active and spread wide. So we always are as yoga teachers, we're always cueing you to keep your fingers spread wide and active. That's because when we're doing poses on our hands, like plank pose, like downward facing dog, we have more ground to cover. We have more stability and balance for ourselves when we spread the fingers wide versus keeping the fingers together. So we practice in every pose to keep the fingers spread super wide. Okay, so from here, we're gonna stay balancing and start to lift all the way up to standing. It's okay if you lose your balance, keep the heels lifted. Keep the arms reaching up overhead. Maybe lift a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, we'll lower the heels, lower the arms down by your sides. Now let's bring the feet about hip-width distance apart. We're at the top of our mat. Maybe there's a little roll through the neck. A little movement through the tops of the shoulders. And then coming back to center. Finding your center point. So if you need to shift a little side to side, forward to back, to feel that genuine center point, go ahead and do that. And then once you find it, feel the connection between both feet evenly through all four corners. And on an inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Look up, tap the palms together. And exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. As you exhale, bring the thumbs to your third eye and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands could stay on the mat or the shins, lifting your heart, your tailbone, and your gaze forward. As you exhale, fold it back down. Inhale, rise back up to standing. Rolling the spine slowly. Head is the last thing to come up. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, third eye, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant the hands and step back to a high plank or push-up position. So shoulders are right over the wrists, fingers again spread wide, helping our balance and stability. And drawing the wrists back towards our feet energetically, pressing the heels back. Engaging the thighs, tilting the pelvis towards the top of the mat, engaging through your core. We'll hold here for 3. Press the mat away. Draw the shoulders out and away from each other. 2. On one, we're going to shift over the fingertips. Bend the elbows, lower halfway down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling to upward facing dog. Heels draw slightly in. We're on our hands, tops of the feet. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll stay here for about 5 smooth breaths. So here our hands are about shoulder width apart. We're going to be clawing that with the fingertips, pressing especially through the insides of the hands, the inner wrists, the base of the thumb, the pointer finger. Drawing the eyes of the elbows forward as you externally rotate the shoulders out and away from the ears. And rooting the heels down towards the mat if you can. There can always be a little bend in the knees if you find that your spine is rounding a little bit. So to keep a nice long spine, we bend the knees. Or bring something underneath the heels, like a rolled up yoga mat or a blanket can help. And we engage the thighs, lifting the kneecaps. So feel like this down dog is almost like a forward bend. So we want to bring our belly towards our thighs. The tips of our ears are lengthening towards our thumbs. And there's an active press through the hands to distribute the weight back to the feet a little bit. Couple of more breaths right here. Coming towards your last breath. Together, let's take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. One more inhale. Look forward. onto the balls of the feet, and we'll tiptoe to the top of our mat. So feel like you're wearing high heels, and you're walking slowly to meet the hands. We bring the feet together, we stay balanced, lifting the heels, bend the knees, bring the bum towards the feet. Reach the arms up overhead, and slowly rise to standing, stay balancing. Reach super tall, take a big breath in, and exhale, heels come down, arms go down by the sides. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Exhale, hands to third eye, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine, pause here, tent the fingertips, and lift the left leg up and back. And draw your outer left hip slightly down so the toes dial down. And we'll take a big step back to the end of our mat, and softening the back knee and untuck the toes. So coming into a low Anjaneyasana where we're going to bring the hands to the front knee. So here, we're pressing into the knee so that we really take a step onto the front foot, finding a scissoring action with the legs. So naturally here on this side, our right hip is going to draw back. Our left hip is going to draw slightly forward. When you're ready, take the arms up overhead, pressing into the right big toe, and the left toenails press into the mat. Make sure the shoulders are soft and not crunched up by the ears. And then we'll reach our left arm back towards our back thigh. And you're welcome just to stay right here, or it's helpful to add a blanket or just fold up your mat for a little bit more cushioning. And we might take a bend in the back knee and reach back for the foot, finding a bind. So here we might notice the chest and everything starts to turn a little bit to the left. So can we pull your right hip and right shoulder slightly back to keep square to the front. Right fingertips are active. Little quad stretch to the left leg. Take one more breath in, find your balance. And then as you exhale, release the hands to the floor to frame the front foot. And take a big breath in. As you exhale, we'll draw the hips back in space, drawing your right leg towards straight. And we'll move a couple times forward to back. So inhale forward, exhale back. And you can let this be as expressive, as big, as small as you want. But let the breath guide you. A couple more times. Last time, inhale, drawing forward. And exhale to draw back. We'll pause on this one. So if your toes aren't down already, press your right toes into the mat if you can. And slide your left hand to the inside of your right foot. We're going to bring your right hand to the right hip. And just start by pulling the right hip down and back. This will help us stabilize this balance and this twist as we start to open this out to the right. So the shoulders start to peel open. When you're ready, you float that right arm up to the sky, rooting your right hip down and back. Stay for 3. Maybe starting to turn your gaze up towards the top hand or just to the right hand side. 2. And on 1, we'll close up the twist. Rebend the front knee. And tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And setting up for pyramid, so just popping that back leg in just a little bit closer. We don't want the legs to be too close. So we want to straighten both legs. Great place to grab blocks here if you have them. So that we can inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, folding down over your right leg. So the back heel is grounded in this variation. And the back toes can dial to the front left corner of your mat. And again, to square the hips, we want to pull your right outer hip back, left outer hip forward. Press your right big toe to the mat and outer back edge of the left foot. Head is heavy. Neck is relaxed. I like to crawl my hands a little bit farther forward in front of my front foot to bring a little bit more space to find more length through the spine. So we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. You can always take a little micro bend in either knee or both knees, if that helps. Okay, so coming to our last breath, we're going to bend the front knee and step all the way into standing split. So planting the hands and floating your back leg up towards the sky, keeping the hips closed and square to the mat so the left toes dial down. And think of this as a forward fold. So we're draping our upper body, our torso, our head down that right leg towards the floor. As the left leg floats up a little bit higher, maybe we test our balance by bringing that right arm around the back of the right calf. Maybe we test our balance a little bit further. We're taking both hands off the ground, even just for a millisecond. So wherever you are, we'll stay for 3, 2, and on 1. We'll take a big step back and rise all the way up. And open this up to the left-hand side of your mat. So we're going to bend both knees and come into a goddess pose. We're reaching both arms up and then bending the elbows, cactusing the arms. So here we have a nice long spine. You can find a little movement here as we first enter into this. Knees should be fairly stacked over the ankles. Our heart is lifting, shoulder blades squeeze down the spine. And we sink the hips, bending a little bit more into the knees. Fingertips are spread and activated. Close the eyes here and just breathe. That doesn't throw off your balance. It might a little bit. Take about 3 breaths right here. Maybe allowing yourself to sink a little bit deeper. Slowing your breath down, smoothing it out. Feeling strong and active through the legs, through your core. Okay, on an inhale, we're going to start to straighten the legs, reaching the arms up overhead. And exhale, back to your goddess. Again, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, open. Again, inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to the hips and dial the toes slightly in, heels slightly out. So opposite of what we just had. We'll inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And as you exhale, start to hinge at the hips and fold forward. Bowing the head towards the floor. Once you found a good place, when you're ready, you can bring the hands to the ground. And then use the hands as support so that you can shift the weight towards the toe side of the feet. Lifting the sit bones a little bit higher towards the sky. And we'll have another opportunity for a deep, wide-legged forward bend. So if you want to bring some movement into this first one, sometimes it's nice to bend into one knee at a time. A little bit of space in the hips. If your hamstrings are really tight, it's kind of a nice option to massage those out a little bit with movement. And then we'll start to bring the hands back to the hips. Finding a nice long spine. We'll rise all the way back up to the sky. And facing the front of the mat, take a big step to the top. Separate the feet hip width distance. Release the arms. Inhale, arms float up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hop or step back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Lowering halfway. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. And exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So take about 5 more breaths right here. You're always welcome to take a child pose. You're always welcome to modify any vinyasa, any pose. Make it your own. This is your practice. Finding any movement that feels good in this moment, creates a little bit of space. Okay, we're gonna look forward to the top of the mat, rise to the tippy toes, and high heel walk ourselves up to the front of our mat. Staying on the balls of our feet. Feet come together, sit low into a squat. Reach arms up overhead, stay balancing, and rise to standing. Lift the heels a little bit higher. And exhale, sink down into the mat. Inhale, sweep arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Pause here, tent the fingertips or bring them on blocks. And lift the right leg up and back. And kick out through the heel. Feel like you're stepping on a wall behind you. And then we'll take a big step back. Right into our low Anjaneyasana. So right knee comes down. We untuck the toes. Hands come to the front knee. And we pause here, really stepping onto the front leg. So again, find that scissoring action of the legs. That left hip draws back. Right hip draws forward. When you're ready, reach the arms up overhead. Soften the shoulders. Pressing into your toenails on the back foot. I'm going to lift through the heart, maybe send your gaze a little bit higher. The legs are super active here. Okay, we'll release your right hand to the back thigh. Maybe add some cushioning to the back knee. And then maybe you take it further by bending into the back knee, grabbing for a bind, finding your ankle or your foot, pulling your left hip and left shoulder slightly back. Left arm is active and reaching. Nice quad stretch here. Just a couple of breaths, find your balance. Okay, we'll release both hands, down to the floor. And then as you exhale, we'll pull the hips back in space. And then inhale brings us back forward. Exhale. Couple of times forward to back, just easing it out. So go at your own pace. Pause anywhere along the way. Take your time with this. We'll do one more time. Inhale forward. And then exhale, pause. When the hips are over the knees, we'll plant the left toes down and right hand comes to the inside of the left foot. The left hand comes to left hip. Just start by pulling that left hip down and back. Drawing that left leg towards straight, but it's okay if there's a little micro bend. We start by opening the shoulders to the left, and then when you're ready, reaching your left arm up overhead, maybe sending your gaze up. Pressing the top of your back foot into the mat again to help this balance. We're here for 3. Stay with your breath. 2. And on 1, release this twist. Hands come down to frame the front foot. Rebend it. And then tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. And just hop a little bit closer. Setting up for pyramid. Straightening both legs. Maybe grabbing blocks here. That could be helpful. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, folding forward. Maybe crawling the fingertips a little bit in front of that left leg. Back heel is grounded. Back toes are pretty much dialing forward, but just slightly to the right. And pulling your left outer hip back, right outer hip forward. Softness through the shoulders, let the head hang heavy. Nice full breath. We'll be here for about 2 more breaths. Okay, moving to our standing split. Micro bend the left knee and start to bring all of your weight onto the left foot as the right leg floats up and back. Toes stay dialing down to hips are square, hands grounding on the mat. And crown of the head reaches towards the left toes, towards the ground. Maybe you test your balance, testing your comfort zone. Maybe you bring your left arm to the back of your left thigh, pulling up on the ankle. Maybe even for a second you bring both arms and then float your top leg a little higher. Wherever you are, we'll stay for 3, 2, and on 1. Take a big step back and rise to your goddess pose facing the right hand side. So bend the knees, cactus arms. And sink right into this. So the tailbone reaches down. Crown of the head reaches up. Energy coming out of the crown of the head through the fingertips. Knees are bent over the heels. And we breathe here. See if we can sink a little bit lower on this one. And we'll hold just for 5, 4, a little bit lower. 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs. Hands come to hips. We inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. Dial this voice slightly, inhale, slightly out as you fold this forward. You're welcome to widen your feet here if you need to. And we bow the head to the floor. And this time, wrap your peace fingers and thumb around the big toes. And lift up on that bind. So lengthen your spine, lift your heart. And then as you exhale, shift the weight to the toes and fold this back down. Draw the elbows out and up. Moving the shoulders out and away from the ears. Heels are light. Head is heavy. Bring a little bit of movement. Consistent breath here. Keep the thighs engaged, lifting the kneecaps. But if it's too much, you can always take a little micro bend in the knees. And feeling every exhale, you sink a little bit deeper. Your head draws closer to the floor, your sit bones start to lift towards the sky. And then to release this, hands come underneath the forehead, finding a flat back. Bring the hands to the hips, and with that nice flat back, rise all the way back to standing. Toes dial to the front, and take a big step to the front of your mat. Inhale. Sweep thumbs up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center at prayer. So a few balancing poses. We'll separate the feet hip width distance apart. And bring your weight into the left leg. Right knee floats up energetically. Flex the foot, drop your right hip, and cross right ankle over left thigh. We'll start to sink into this as you open your right knee away from you. You drop your belly towards your right leg. And some of us might find a connection here. So if you can, press your elbows into the knee and into the ankle of the right foot or the right leg. And keep space through the back of the neck. So gazing down towards the ground or your bottom foot. This is a great place for a little foot massage. Right? Why not? going to slowly rise back up to standing. So stay balancing, lifting your right knee into the chest. And then last, final count, reach the arms up overhead. You can keep the knee bent or stretch it straight in front of you for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go and shake it out. Shake your arms, shake your legs. We'll come back to standing, separate the feet, hip width distance apart. Bring the hands to the heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Just breathe before we make our way to the other side. Start to flutter the eyes open if you have them closed. And shift your weight into the right foot. Lifting your left leg to the sky. Flex the foot. Lower that left hip energetically. Tends to creep up on us. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Open your left knee. And right away we'll sink this again down towards the ground, towards our left leg. If you find that connection, press the elbows into the knees, into the ankle or foot. To square the hips, feeling a really great stretch to that outer left hip. Keep space in the neck, maybe a little love to your left foot over here. Holding as much as you need to feel a really nice stretch here. And you'll know it when you feel it. Okay, we'll slowly come back up. Stay balancing on the right leg. Lift the left knee and the arms. And then last final count, you can keep it bent or stretch it out straight in front of you for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Shake it out. Wiggle out your arms and your legs. Okay, let's go ahead and bring the feet back together, top of our mat. And we're going to do this in reverse. So reach the arms up overhead, lift onto the balls of the feet. So find that balance, lifting, lifting, lifting. And then stay lifted, bend the knees and sink down towards your heels. So you find your balance, create the space, create length through your spine. Reach down through your tailbone, reach up through the crown of your head, through the fingertips. And then from here, as gracefully as we can, seeing if we can do this without using your hands, we're going to come down to our bum and right into boat pose. So just kind of making a swift motion onto our bum and then lifting the legs up right away. Reaching the arms forward. Legs can stretch forward or you can straighten them. But sometimes when we straighten them, we round our spine. So can you keep that nice long spine? We'll pause here. Breathing, engaging our core, lifting our heart. 2. And on 1, come to low boat. Keep the legs and the arms ahead lifted. Final count of 5. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the arms up overhead. The legs stretch long. Kind of full body stretch. Maybe interlocking the fingers, pressing the palms up and away. Okay, we'll start to bend the knees in and hug them into the chest. Rock a little side to side. Feeling a nice massage on your back. And then we'll bring the feet back down to the mat. And extend your right leg up to the sky. You can grab hold the back of the thigh for a little bit more support. And just start to rotate the ankle a couple times. Make sure you do go both directions. And then when you're ready, we'll cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And come back to that same shape we just created, figure 4. So right knee starts to draw open away from you in that direction, while your left knee draws in towards you. So again, just staying here, there's already this scissoring action. Your left knee draws towards you, right knee draws away. You can take it further by grabbing hold of the back of that left thigh and hugging the left knee towards you actively. Now, if you have that left leg lifted, sometimes it's nice to bring even more movement, stretching the left leg up and down a few times. That's great for some joint mobility for your knee. Maybe a little rock and roll side to side. That just feels good on your back. Feels good to me. Come back to your breath here. Start to slow it down. We're winding down our practice. So allowing the body to cool down. Allowing the breath to calm down. Maybe close your eyes. And then we'll keep this figure 4 shape. Just release the left foot down. And with your left hand, grab the top of your right foot. And we'll draw that right foot down to the mat so that the knee still faces up to the sky. The right foot is planted in the mat. And the left knee is just relaxed and heavy on the ground. So a little micro twist. We can extend the right arm right and send your gaze over the right shoulder. So notice where you might feel this. Maybe you feel a stretch in the outer right hip or a little bit into the low back. Notice where you feel it, where the work is. Notice if you're holding on to anything. I'm always holding on to something in my shoulders. So right when I bring attention to it, I can relax. I let them go. They fall heavy. Sometimes you just have to pinpoint that spot, that sensation, that tightness, so that you can let it go, so that you can soften and relax. We'll start to make our way back to center, unwinding the legs, and then switching legs, extending the left leg up to the sky, maybe grabbing hold of the back of the thigh for support as we rotate the ankle a few times, going both directions. And then we'll cross that left ankle over the right thigh. Energetically opening that left knee away from you. Find that scissoring action. Right knee draws in, left knee draws away. You can take it further by grabbing the back of the thigh or in front of the knee, but make sure wherever you've landed that both your shoulders and your head are still relaxed on the ground to do so. Invite any movement you want to take here, or just find some stillness. Sometimes we want to move to find more space, and sometimes stillness is exactly what we need to create a little bit of space. So just listening in, noticing what your body is gently telling you. Okay, we'll start to bring the right foot down. Stay in this figure 4. The right hand will grab the top of the left foot and we'll pull it down to the right hand side. So the left foot totally grounds into the mat if you can. So the left knee is facing up to the sky and right knee is totally relaxed. When you're ready, you can take your left arm, reach it left, and send your gaze over the left shoulder. Maybe close your eyes here. Again, just when I bring my attention to my shoulders, I notice them drop a little bit heavier. Sometimes it's all it takes. Just bringing awareness to that. To whatever it is that's holding you back, that's causing you stress, that's causing you tightness, tension, anxiety. Just bringing awareness to that and then seeing what you can do from there. Go up a little more breaths right here. Noticing where you feel it. Okay, we'll start to come back to center. And we'll take the soles of the feet together, knees drop open like a book. Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands can rest on your body somewhere. They can rest up overhead or down by the sides of your body. So play around and see what feels good here. And without adding any pressure to the knees, just let gravity do its work. Let them fall naturally over time. And if it's too much, you can slide 2 blocks underneath your knees or thighs. And bring the ground up a little bit closer to you. Okay, so we'll start to draw the knees back in together and draw them in towards the chest and reach for either the back of the thighs, the calves, or the outsides of the feet, coming to happy baby. So the knees soften in towards the armpits, the shoulders stay heavy towards the ground in the sockets. And notice if you're low, if your sacrum or your hips are kind of lifting off the mat, that tends to happen. So we want to really press the low back, to press the sacrum into the mat to stay grounded here and connected. If you want to move here, a little sway side to side, that can feel okay. If that feels okay on your back, it feels great for some people. And just a few more breaths here. Okay, we'll start setting up for our final resting pose, Shavasana. So when you're ready, go ahead and release the legs. And grab what you need to get comfortable. Something under the knees or underneath the head would be nice. Allowing the arms to rest down by your sides. And make sure you're really comfortable. Give yourself the space to adjust to get comfortable. And we'll take the next few minutes of total rest. Giving our body total relaxation. And just finding some space, some quiet, and some stillness here. So the next few minutes are for you to do nothing, but just be here. You just feel your body. Your breath can soften. You close the eyes and rest every muscle in your body. Soften every body part. If you have more time with your day, you're welcome to stay right where you are. Stay comfortable. If you're ready to move, we'll start to bring awareness back to our breath, back to our body. Taking a big breath in through the nose. And an easy exhale. We'll start to wiggle our fingers, our toes. Start to wake up our body gently. And bending the knees into the chest and curling out to one side, just pausing there for a few more moments. Rest your head on a pillow or on your arm. Take a moment to hold some gratitude for yourself. If the stepping on your mat not only affects you, not only affects everybody in your life, but affects everybody in the whole world. No matter what practice you do, no matter how gentle, how hardcore, this is doing the work, and taking the time to do that affects everybody. So say thank you to yourself for taking the time to do that, to be here, and to do the work. We'll start to press the ground away, and so put yourself up to a comfortable seat on your mat. And bring the hands to heart center at prayer, lifting the heart up to meet the thumbs. Nice long spine, tucking the chin just slightly. It's creating a little bit of space through the back of the neck. And then we'll bring our palms to our third eye center between the brows. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And have a beautiful day, guys. I'll see you next time. Thank you.